Hello and welcome to the Jason and Katrina cooking show. Jason is not here today because we are doing the last chef's plate meal, which is the Lentil Sloppy Joes. It was already bad enough that they were Sloppy Joes. Jason was already a little bit uncomfortable with that, but the fact that they're Lentil Sloppy Joes really sealed the fact that he would not be having them. So it is just me today. I'll be making the Lentil Sloppy Joes for lunch, and I'm actually really excited. It has a dill pickle slaw, and I am obsessed with dill, so I cannot wait. Sweet potato fries as well, and I love sweet potato fries, so I'm excited for this meal. And I'm also really excited to see how the lentils turn out in it. I've had Sloppy Joes with meat, never had one with lentils, and I am trying to cut back on the amount of meat that I'm eating, so I'm really hoping that I like this, and maybe it's something that I can make in the future. So I'm excited to try it out. All right, so for the ingredients, we have 1 can of lentils, the buns, sweet bell pepper, which I've already thrown out because I do not like peppers, as well as the onion. We have 2 tiny little sweet potatoes here, much smaller than the ones I usually use, but okay. We have a cabbage already shredded, mayonnaise, tomato sauce base right here, barbecue sauce here, applewood smoke spice here, dill pickle slices as well as the barbecue spice blend. So we have all the ingredients here, so let's get started. So the first step is to cut sweet potatoes into 1/2-inch fries. So let's get cutting the potatoes. I am going to do something very out of character and use a cutting board this time. I just feel like it today, so why not? So I actually make sweet potato a lot, but I don't ever make them into a fry shape. I always just make them into like cubes, like little home fries, and cook them up that way. So it'll be fun to do them in a fry shape today. I really like a thin fry, that way you can taste more of the salt and less potato. So I'm cutting these up pretty thin. All right, so the potatoes are all cut up, and the next step is to line a baking sheet with parchment paper. As you know, we always line our trays in this house. However, we do not line them with parchment paper. One time, like 8 years ago, I had a bad experience where I lined a baking sheet with parchment paper and then put it in the oven, and the oven started smoking. So ever since then, I only use tin foil. I'm gonna put the sweet potatoes on here. Okay, so then the barbecue spice blend, oil and salt. 1/2 teaspoon, and sprinkle that on. And then my favorite of all time, the salt. Get that all mixed up in there. Okay, then roast on little wrap for 22 to 24 minutes, cooking halfway through until golden brown and tender. So we're gonna pop these in the air fryer. Alright, meanwhile, while those are cooking, the next step is to cut up the peppers, onions, and pickles. Since I don't eat onions and peppers, we'll just be doing the pickles. So it says cut pickles into 1/4 inch pieces. This is a lot of pickles. I'm very excited. Alright, so the pickles are all cut up, and that leads us to step 3, which is in a large non-stick pan, heat 1 tablespoon of oil over medium heat. When the pan is hot, add onions and peppers. Okay, so we don't need to do that. Cook for 5 to 6 minutes. No. Then add the tomato sauce and remaining barbecue spice blend, and cook for 1 minute, stirring often until fragrant. Season with salt and pepper. Right, so I guess we'll start up the tomato sauce and the barbecue spice blend, and then go ahead and add the lentils in right away, since we do not need to cook any of the vegetables. All right, so we're adding the tomato sauce. The rest of the spice. I'm gonna mix that around. Add some salt. Lentils in a can kind of grosses grosses me out a little bit. I've only ever had them once, and just like the liquid, the brine or whatever they come in, it really gross to me. I really do prefer to cook my own lentils from just dry lentils, but I'm gonna give it another shot this way. I think I've only ever done it once in a can, so we are gonna give it another shot. Hopefully it's not completely gross like last time, but we'll have to see. I am gonna give it a shot though. So yeah, the brine is gross again. It's bleh, so gross. But we're gonna drain them anyways, and we're still gonna give them a shot. These are also unlike any other lentils that I've ever seen. The lentils I use are much flatter. They're like more ball shaped. And like you can see in there, like the liquid, even though I'm like draining them out, is like ugh, so thick. It just doesn't come out easily. Ooh, grosses me out. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna rinse them. So gross. This is definitely going to be the last time that I eat lentils from a can. This is just, oh, grosses me out so much. All right, now the next step is to add the lentils and the barbecue sauce to the tomato sauce pan. Okay, barbecue sauce. All right, mix that all up. Yeah. It does not look as appetizing as I thought it would. I almost completely forgot that we were supposed to turn over the sweet potato fries, so with 7 minutes left, I'm going to do that now. A little bit more spice, and of course salt. Okay, and now I need to add some water and butter into the lentil pan. 1 tablespoon of butter. A lot of butter. And then stir until the butter melts. Okay, step number 5. Have the buns and put them into the oven on the top rack and toast them. I'm gonna wait to do that to the very, very end, just because it's only gonna take like 2 minutes, and I'll be able to watch them, because I'm gonna move on to the next step now. We're gonna, in a medium bowl, add the pickles, cabbage, and 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise. Season with salt, and then toss to combine. So I'm gonna do that now. So there's an asterisk next to the word pickles, so I was like, what does that mean? And then I look up at the top, where you can see the asterisk next to chef's hack. And that hack is add pickle juice to the slaw for a hit of extra tang. I wish they had told me that way back in step 2 when I threw out all the pickle juice, but whatever. Moving on, we're gonna add these pickles into the bowl. Got the cabbage. Okay, then we want 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise, so 1 tablespoon. All right, add salt. Potatoes are done. Oh, they look good. They look nice and crispy. Mix it all up. Then in a small bowl, we're going to make some chipotle mayonnaise for the sweet potato fries. So we're going to put the rest of the mayonnaise in here. Right, mix that up. It's pretty good. Could use a little more spice though. Now I'm going to get to toasting those buns, and that's the last thing to do before we put everything together. It's already cut in half, so I'm just going to throw them in there. Alright, 2 minutes, and then everything will be ready to assemble. Alright, this is the final meal. Looks pretty good. I cannot wait to try it. So now we're gonna go enjoy this, and then I'll give you all my thoughts on not only the Sloppy Joe, but Chef's Plate in general. With lunch today, I am drinking some kombucha. This is one of my favorite brands, the Synergy brand. This is the ginger ale. This one is excellent. I really like this one. But let's go ahead and try the main event, which is the Sloppy Joe. It's very sloppy. It's pretty good too. I mean, definitely can tell it's not meat, but barbecue sauce makes everything taste good, so. Trying to get some pickle on my fork here in the slaw. Okay. The coleslaw's okay. I could probably take it or leave it. Nothing too special. Yeah, so I'm not too impressed with the coleslaw. It was pretty simple. It's just cabbage, mayonnaise, and pickles. The pickles taste excellent, obviously, but other than that, not really too impressed. We're gonna try some fries with the chipotle mayo. I really like the chipotle mayo. Definitely taste the salt in there, which I love. Anyways, I'm going to finish eating this. And when I'm done, I'll share all of my thoughts on Chef's Plate, from the ordering process to what the meals taste like. So let me finish this and then I'll get back to you on that. So I just finished my last Chef's Plate meal and it was really good. You can definitely tell that you were eating lentils, but like the barbecue sauce that they chose was excellent, and if you smell anything in barbecue sauce, it tastes good. So I was pleasantly surprised. I might make that in the future, just replace meat in my diet, since I am trying to move away from meat a little bit. The sweet potato fries were good. Obviously, they weren't as crispy and nice as when they're deep fried, but for baked fries, they were pretty good. The chipotle sauce was excellent. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, and it was also pretty filling. I mean, I'm not completely stuffed again. I could eat more, but I am satisfied. So overall, definitely, I'm impressed with that meal. I'd probably give that an 8. I was struggling at first. When I saw the options, I wasn't impressed. I didn't think I would like anything really. Nothing really stood out to me all that much, but then I just went with what I thought I might kind of like, and once I tried them, they actually were good. So when ordering, there are only 3 options with Chef's Plate. HelloFresh has a lot more options. They had like the calorie-wise one, which is the one I chose, and the Carb Smart. So that was the kind of plan that I chose with HelloFresh. With Chef's Plate, they only had 3 options, and it was a meat and veg, vegetarian, or family friendly. So that was one thing that was against them. So you have to go to each individual recipe and see what the calories are and all the nutritional information to make the right choice for yourself. They don't make it just easy for you. Like, here are options below the certain amount of calories, like HelloFresh does. But yeah, I did find the calorie count information to be extremely confusing, because I have some notes here. Picking your meals on Chef's Plate, you can click on them and they'll tell you all the calories and all that. And I don't know if I just wasn't paying enough attention, but when I clicked on each one, every single one was between 700 and 1,000 calories, and I didn't find anything lower than that. But then when the bags came and I looked on the bags and it said each individual serving, I believe the salmon and the chicken were like both 460 or 480, which leads me to believe that when I clicked on them on the website, because I chose 2 portions for all my meals, that they were giving me the calorie count for both of the portions, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense why I have written down here that every meal was between 700 and 100 calories, and then the bag showed up and says that the servings were like less than 500. So I think that might have been what happened, but because I've already canceled my Chef's Plate subscription, when I went back to go look, I could see some recipes, but they wouldn't let me click on them since I didn't have a subscription. So I couldn't go back in and double check to see if that's the case, if they're just giving it for both portions or what is going on there. But maybe later on down the road, if I renew that subscription, I'll take a closer and better look at that. Overall, I was really impressed with the taste. I was not stuffed for any of the meals, which is probably a good thing, and I wasn't still hungry. With HelloFresh, I was definitely still hungry after a few of the meals. Like, I think that's how they got the calorie count down, was to just give you less food. So that wasn't great. But yeah, with this one, like, I could eat more, but I was satisfied. So that was definitely good for Chef's Plate. That's one thing that's definitely for them there. For the chicken was pretty good, but the coating was a little bit soggy, which is, I mean, it's gonna happen. You're baking it, you're not deep frying it, so like, what can you do? The salmon was pretty good. I don't think I have any complaints about that. And yeah, I really like that they put a different spin on the Sloppy Joe and used the lentil instead of meat. So overall, I actually am pretty impressed with Chef's Plate. I still do prefer choosing my own meals for the most part, but every once in a while I wouldn't mind doing like a Chef's Plate subscription box. Like, they definitely are very creative with their meals. It's not like they're never really all that boring. There's things that I would never think about making, or like sauces that I would never think about putting on certain meals, or making sauces in a certain way. So for that, I think these meal kits are very excellent, and Chef's Plate did not disappoint. It was definitely very interesting. Like the calzone, I definitely would have never ever made just a calzone at home by myself. So that was really nice. And they make the pizza dough for you. Even though it would have been kind of fun to make a pizza dough yourself, it probably would have taken a really long time. So probably thankful that they did do that for me. And then just having like chicken and salmon is something that we have all the time, but just having it prepared in a different way and with different sides. Like, I've never had orzo before, so it was really nice experiencing that. So the creativity in Chef's Plate was pretty good. Definitely enjoyed that. Loved mixing it up. So if I was to try a meal kit again, or going forward, if I did want to do a meal kit on a semi-regular basis, I would probably at this point choose a Chef's Plate over HelloFresh. But next time we will be trying a different subscription box. So stay tuned, and we'll find out if there's anyone better than Chef's Plate.